Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some good trades as per usual. I'm going to be giving you guys kind of a midday update here. I'm going to be doing the recap video later tonight, or maybe I'll just do the recap right now. But essentially, the S&P is getting a very big rally today as per usual. Buy the dippers coming in, QQQ up, and the SPY is climbing up as well. So as you guys can probably tell, we've been getting decreasing volume, very light volume. So it's only natural that the price will float up. We actually filled the gap now at the 440. It is pushing higher. I would like to see it touch this trend line at 440.98 or 441. That would be very nice. It would actually, achieve my target right here, and you could start to maybe get into some short positions or some puts. But again, do whatever you want. It is definitely a tough trade right now with the indices pumping up like they are. Looking at the shorter time frames, we could actually probably see a good draw, a little bit of a impulsive wave to show you guys that we're basically completing this move up now. So I think we're up in third, four, and then this is the fifth wave, 5 of 5. So now the important thing next week that's going to be coming up. So there we go. Let me just move this here. I actually want to see if the price is going to tag this trend line in a few moments. But what we should see next week is an ABC correction. If the bullish scenario is going to play out, we need to see something like this play out, right? And then we need to hold these levels here, and we shouldn't go lower than this blue trend line here. So the max extension that I would say would be right around the wave 2 here. So right around here would be the max in terms of the downside if when the markets do pull back. And I would not get too euphoric right now. Like I wouldn't be buying up here right now. I know I said I wouldn't buy up here either, and we got a dip and we pumped up anyways. But again, this is just risk management. Do whatever you want, but just know when you're buying at these levels, you've already missed this entire move. And again, this has been a very sorry, I'm missing my keyboard here. This has been a very big move towards the upside, and it sort of looks to me like a bear market rally, like when we've seen in the past when we have big drops, we rally higher like this, we impulse up and then we chop sideways and then we start to reverse down, right? So again, this is why the bearish scenario could still very well be in play. And that when we're gonna get the pullback, we'll have to see if this is again actually the B wave could even be done here. If this is a B and a C, right, something like that. If this is a wave 2, but again, this could also extend even higher. Maybe the C wave will break out and we'll keep going up, and then it's going to be an expanded flat, and the wave 2 will extend up. But we'll take it day by day right now, because when I look at the SPY and I look at the shorter time frames, the stochastics on the 45-minute look like they're topping out here. The 4-hour time frame looks like it started to roll, and same thing for the daily. I don't see much more upside, but again, I could be wrong. We've obviously had a very nice down day yesterday, and today we're gapping up and pushing higher. But the markets will do what they want to do right now. I have taken a look at the dark pool trades, and let me just pull them up here very quickly. We're seeing a lot of dark pool trades on the SOXL. So this is the semiconductor ETF, 3 times leverage bull. This one is, it's had an amazing run so far. It's up 40, 46, 50%, something like that. And now it's starting to pull back. Or sorry, not pull back, but we're starting to see dark pool trades right around the $20.26 area, which is already passed. Actually, they just keep pushing it higher. And then we've seen the QLD dark pool trades. Again, these are some of the biggest trades we've seen since November 2nd, or like the 25th largest trade. And right now we're seeing it right around the highs as well on QLD. Let me just take a look. Oh, and the triple Qs, the TQQQ, right? So we're seeing that one as well. Again, they're basically all the same thing. They're all very extended, very high up in the air. But we'll have to see how this plays out next week. You know, it's going to be interesting. For sure. It's definitely going to be an interesting week because right now we're at a pretty pivotal point, I would say. This next pullback that we get, because I do expect a pullback eventually. Nothing goes up in a straight line. Once we do get a pullback, that pullback will dictate what's going to be coming in the markets. It could very well turn into a crash scenario, or it can turn into a bounce scenario to new all-time highs, which, by the way, will be the third wave. And that is something that you really don't want to miss, right? So if this is going to bounce higher like this, and you're going to go to 480, 470, that is a move that you 100% do not want to miss. So that's why I'll be letting you guys know once I, if I exit my puts or my shorts at these levels, or if we do get to these levels, once I do exit them, what I'm going to be doing. If I'm going to be hopping in longs, if I'm going to be, adding to shorts, and looking at like the small caps right now, I just don't like the whole idea of we're going to new all-time highs with the small caps in such a, bearish stance. They're not at all-time highs like the triple Qs and the SPY, right? The IWM is where speculative money goes, and speculative money is just not in the market right now. And the algos are sensing weakness, and they're shorting and they're pushing it down. And once these levels do break and we start to head lower, I have a level of 155 here for the IWM that needs to be achieved or satisfied, I would say. Once that gets there, I'd be interested in longing, maybe, right? Pending current market conditions, because if the SPY starts to break down too, then I won't be longing. I'll just be sitting on the sidelines, and I won't be touching anything, right? I'll just be watching the markets. Right now, we're getting a very euphoric pump, broad market rally. I know there's a lot of people who are short, and they're wondering when this pump is gonna end. But take your time, right? Don't rush into things. Don't over leverage. When we look at the weekly time, okay, so I'll cover the SPY on the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame on Market Cipher. Because right now on Market Cipher, we can see we have a red dot, right? Confirmation of a potential top, and this occurred last month in October. Now we're getting this very big bounce, this very euphoric rally, and it's starting to shift things, right? Because now we're starting to see the weekly form a green dot with a bottom confirmation, a very strong dual band strength index numbers, a -5 and a 15, which could take us to 500 or even higher, right? We could even rally even higher than that, maybe 400, right? Sorry, 600 on the S and on the SPY, and that's, I think, I forget his name, but he has a target of 6,000 on the SPY. So that's why this scenario could still very well happen, right? As unlikely as it seems now, it can happen. And that's why we need to keep an open mind, and we need to adjust as the market shifts. Okay? But right now I would take a chance for a short. Like this would, the risk reward, you're risking so much to make so much. And right now, everything's extended, everything on the stochastics look like they're ready to roll too. And then we take a look here at the wave edge on the SPY. I know we got these sell signals and we got a nice little pullback, and then boom, we saw a massive rally today, right? It doesn't mean that we're gonna keep going. And we've seen these sell signals in the past here. Let me just find one. I think we got this one right here, and it pushed it up a little bit higher. So things can push a little bit higher. Maybe they're just diverging for now, or they're just getting some exit liquidity. I don't know. But you can see on the shorter time frames, during this dip yesterday, this dip right here was heavily bought up, very heavily bought up, and now we're rallying up, and now they're unloading as we push higher, right? Okay, let's take a look at the SPY. Maybe we're tagging that trend line now, just a live update. So we'll just get on some smaller time frames to see if we are about to tag it. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna hit it. We'll have to see the reaction once we hit it, and it's gonna be pretty interesting. 444.20 should be the short area on the S&P 500 index. So again, that's if you're chancing a short, maybe do it now because it's happening live as we speak. And then finally, I'll take a look at maybe the Dow Jones index. So it's very similar to all the other indices. It's just pushing higher at the moment. is going to be waiting for confirmation to see if we do see a pullback. It's still, oh, it got back over its 200-day moving average. That's nice to see. But the small caps, again, I'm focusing mostly on the small caps, and that's, I mean, if you're going to be shorting an index, this small caps is the one that you want to do it, because it's probably going to be the weakest one during this high interest rate environment. I know the yields pulled back recently and the market was very euphoric. We saw a nice shoot up in the 20-year yield yesterday, because the 30-year auction saw barely any interest, so that's why the yields went up. The sale went very bad. Excuse me, I just had lunch, so I'm burping a little bit. But overall, the Bears still have a play. They can still push this significantly lower. The Qs right now are very extended. I just look at it and I think we're probably going to come back up and tag 379, and then maybe we'll get a pullback. Right? We do have some gaps on the triple Qs, believe it or not. We actually have a gap down here and a gap down here as well. So that's I mean, I don't know if it'll pull back that much, because right now the Magnificent Seven are just pushing higher. I think you have a new all-time high in Microsoft. Microsoft is breaking out right now. It's pushing to about 370, and then you have this upsloping trend line. So again, that would be your next short area. If you are looking to short Microsoft, that's going to be your short area. If you're looking to long, I mean, you had some supports here that you tagged a little bit right before earnings at the beginning of October, and then boom. It's actually pretty remarkable too. During that downtrend in the S&P and the Nasdaq, Microsoft remained bullish. So it's getting a very strong chart right now. Nothing to complain about. I think we took a look at ROKU the other day. Again, these smaller names aren't really getting a bid, so right at the moment, but maybe they'll get a bid next week. We'll have to see. ROKU buy area is a little bit lower. We got pretty close to it, but again, I would probably look for around 78 to 75, so right around that area. And then finally, we'll take a look at PayPal here. Again, PayPal is holding its 20-day moving average. It's actually setting up for a nice little B wave, bottom already, and now it's setting up for a C wave rally, right into the 60 area, or 61 area. So that's probably where I would exit my PayPal if I am long this stock. So just keep in mind, if you're long, this is where I would exit, right around here. And I would exit, and then I would wait to buy back again, because it could very well extend the fifth wave. I think you're in a fifth of a fifth, and that's usually when you start to bottom out. Okay, let me just cover maybe a few more things here. I think someone had a trade on Trade Desk. So Trade Desks, very unfortunate. This one gapped down on earnings today, down about 16%. This one, it does look like you're in a 3 of 3 at the moment. It looks like you could very well go lower, and it's I don't know where this is gonna bottom out, but it's when a stock gaps down like this, it's not good, and you could extend lower. You're getting a little bit of a buying opportunity today to maybe exit, because it was down 30% in the after hours. Now it's only down 16%, and what you had here before was like a 1-2 setup, something like this, right? So a 1-2, 1-2, and a 3-4-5. Let me just find one more thing to take a look at before we close out the day. I wanted to take a look at the dollar, because a lot of people are bearish the dollar right now. The dollar, I don't think it's that chart. Whoops. Just put this back here. I think it was the dollar right here. Okay. So when I look at the dollar, it looks kind of like it could be potentially starting another wave one. Right, we'll have to see how this ends up. We can extend it essentially, because it was not really nice of a C wave bottom here. This looks a little bit better given the structure now and its its impulsiveness. So this looks a little bit better. So if the dollar holds this pivot and you start to go higher, then that's going to be bearish for indices. But right now you're making lower lows, and you made kind of like a double top here on the dollar. So that's the bearishness. And you have seasonality, right? You can't forget that. You got seasonality right now in the market. So that is going to help the entire indices all throughout November, and it's going to last until December, end of year. So just take that into account when you're making your trades. Be careful, take it easy, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Peace.